The recent information about the power of authority may have revealed the identity of the true primordial one and the origins of everything. In this video, I'll examine the power of elemental, celestial, and abyssal authority, and theorize its role in the grand scheme, a secret that even the usurpers are unaware of. Without further ado, let's get into the theory. In a bygone era, 7 elemental dragon sovereigns ruled over the light realm, the realm of the elements home to pure elemental creatures like dragons and vishaps. Each dragon sovereign had an authority, which gave them ultimate control over their respective elements. But when the first usurper arrived on Teyvat, they seized the dragon's elemental authorities and used them as the basis for the noses. And while on the topic of elemental power, I'd like to ask you a question. Have you ever wished you had a vision, or maybe even primogems? With Genshin Star, you can have all of these and more. Genshin Star is a fan-made online store with a wide assortment of Genshin Impact and Honkai merchandise to choose from. With the holidays approaching, Genshin Star has released Christmas Advent calendars. Each calendar comes with 24 numbered doors, which have surprise gifts behind them. These calendars are a perfect way to get into the holiday mood, either by yourself or with family, but they're selling out fast, so be sure to get one while you can. You can also use my code, SYNCS, at checkout or use my link in the description to get a 10% discount while supporting my channel. Clothes, phone cases, accessories, figurines, bags, plushies, you name it, they have it. Go fish blasting with Dodeko, cook with Goba, receive a vision, the possibilities are endless. So be sure to go to Genshin Star and seize your own elemental authority. You never know when Celestia will wake. Thank you, Genshin Star, for sponsoring today's video. According to Vendi, the noses are like divine visions, which draw power directly from Celestia. Assuming the functions haven't changed, the dragons may have just been able to draw elemental energy from something in the light realm, such as ley lines. If that's correct, Celestia may have plugged itself into the ley line network, allowing it to funnel energy from a Irminsul to itself. This may also be why a Irminsul appears to be fading, since the sustainer has been dying. This could also be why the celestial nails are blue, instead of white light, the primordial power, since the inside of a Irminsul is blue. The noses, the stolen elemental authorities, also signify Celestia's current control, or authority, over Teyvat. The amount of authority someone has may give them the power to change reality, which is why the heavenly principles earn the right to shape the world by defeating the dragons. Nahida also believes the heavenly principles would wake up if a Gnosis were to be destroyed, since it wouldn't stand by and allow such extensive damage to its loss take place. With this in mind, authority may also be based on power and belief, which is why the heavenly principles values their symbols of control. The power of belief has been a constant throughout Genshin's storyline. Both archons and gods either gain or lose power based on the people's belief in them. Nubilet also says that the Hydro Archon would have to disappear and give him their Gnosis for him to restore his full dragonhood. If authority was solely based on the noses, the Hydro Archon should not have to disappear for Nubilet to regain his former power. But if Farina were to disappear, people would most likely look towards him as their ruler, establishing his authority over Fontaine. But how does this relate to the origins of everything? And who is the true primordial one? The following section will include heavy speculations, so be sure to take it with a grain of salt. Remember what I said about how with enough authority, something may be able to fundamentally rewrite reality. I would like to refresh your memory of the Caribert Archon quest. When the traveler was nearing the center, they had to go through seemingly absol portals to activate different contraptions to progress through various rooms. After entering one of the absol portals, the room appears to have been flipped upside down, but the traveler goes as far as to question whether or not gravity had been completely reversed.
How did I get on the ceiling? Did the room turn upside down? Or gravity itself?
The Abyss also has the power to distort elemental energy, and has an extractable will, which should put it on a higher level of authority than pure elemental energy. The Abyss also has the power to corrode the world's boundaries, which Celestia created. And in case you forgot, the Absol sludge in the chasm was close to overtaking the power of the celestial nail, until the traveler stepped in. Pair this with the fact that dragons believed forbidden knowledge, a form of Absol power, was the only thing capable of defeating the heavenly principles, and it isn't far-fetched to say that the Abyss's authority even surpasses Celestia. But doesn't Celestia's authority allow them to shape the world as they please? The Abyss doesn't have that power. I would like you to direct your attention to what will probably be the most lore-heavy book in Genshin, The Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies. The Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies is a book we retrieved from an Abyssmage during Lisa's story quest. An Abyssmage went as far as to steal this book, and even claimed it holds a major secret. So what is the secret? In the book, we learn of an entity known as the Night Mother. The Night Mother ruled the faraway land of night, where no light touched the earth. The land of night is 100% supposed to represent the physical abyss, for the apparent connections between sin and corruption. The Night Mother was the source of all sins, who had neither heart nor mouth, and the land of night was the embodiment of her evilness. In other words, the physical abyss is the embodiment of the Night Mother's corruption, rather than the Night Mother being the embodiment of the abyss. Similarly, Teyvat is the embodiment of Celestia's will and current power. Both are rulers of their own worlds. So, who is the Night Mother? And why does the Abyss have a higher authority than almost everything else? What if I were to say that the Night Mother is the True Primordial One, a being with ultimate authority that even predates the dragons? Before you comment on how insane this idea is, please allow me to explain. The Byakugaku collections were written by the people of Enkanomiya and document the first era, before and after the second who came entered Teyvat. The text reads, "The one taboo was to succumb to temptation, but the path to temptation had already been sealed." Succumbing to temptation was a sin, and all sins allegedly come from the Night Mother, so for the first people to have been able to sin, the Night Mother has to predate them. One of the very first lines of the Byakugaku collections also reads as follows: "The universe has no beginning and no end, and so it was with the land that once was, but this matters not to us, for the land that bears this nitrogen monoxide longer has anything to do with that eternity, without start or ceasing." I have explained why multiple times before, but I believe the Abyss and the universe are heavily connected to it due to mythological and appearance-wise similarities. So when the Primordial One used its eggshell to separate Teyvat from the universe, it divided the world from the Abyss. If the Pale Princess is correct when saying the physical abyss is the embodiment of the Night Mother, the same should be said for the universe unless the Night Mother is the embodiment of the universe. Either way, she should be extremely ancient. And since the power of the Abyss is emptiness, void, the Abyss should be the void that predates everything, including the dragons, which also means all things originate from the void. This idea is further supported by the records of unknown attribution, which states the Void Realm is the homeland of all humans, even non-Kenryans. Even the Genesis crystal description states that it was born from nothingness, in other words, the Void, which is nothing more than the Abyss. An energy crystal from the very origin of the universe, formed from within nothingness out of pure potential and hope. It contains enough energy to create a newborn star. And what does Genesis crystal translate to? World creation crystals. Please hold this thought for just a second. Apep was affected by the removal of Rukkhadevata's corrupted consciousness from Irminsul. Taking that into consideration, the dragons should be connected to Irminsul. And if the dragon sovereigns drew their power from the ley lines, as I speculated, Irminsul should predate the dragons. But if Irminsul predates the dragons, where did it come from? Irminsul's Chinese translation is World Tree, and the destruction of it would cause the collapse of Teyvat. The inside of Irminsul is also blue, similar to the celestial nails. And what color are the world creation crystals? Blue. Simply put, I am seriously wondering if the Irminsul was born from the Abyss, with pure elemental energy within it, just like the Genesis crystals. Over time, things evolved from Irminsul's energy until they eventually became dragons. The 7 elemental dragons born from Irminsul could initially draw much more power from Irminsul's power until the first usurper arrived, took their elemental authority, and seized control of Irminsul. After defeating the dragons, Celestia gained the power to shape the world because Irminsul functions like a Genesis crystal, the world creation crystal. It's also possible that Irminsul was born from a Genesis crystal, which may be the Genesis pearl or pearl of creation that the Aaron the Gnostic chorus was tasked with finding in the land of night. Interestingly, the hymn of the pearls is commonly believed to be the Gnostic view of the human condition. The idea is that humans are spirits lost in a world of matter, who have forgotten their true origins. The people of Kenrya may have discovered the true origins of humans, which may be why Clather and the Helicrals had the natural reaction to bowing to it, but not to the gods. And according to Albedo, Tavid is a dream already lost to time. The universe is heaven reversed, and the earth is a dream lost to time. This is dust, the most basic form of complex life. The universe being heaven reversed may also be seen in the domain mural. Instead of the mural repeating, it is mirrored, with one entity above, presumably depicting the Primordial One, and one below, which may represent the primordial ruler of Void, the Night Mother. The Night Mother is the true Primordial One, the void that predates everything. The Abyss's rage and desire to engulf Tavid is because it's been alienated from the world that came from it. The usurpers, dragons, descenders, and Celestia have all been fighting over land that isn't theirs. Only after the firmament is cracked and the Abyss is let in will, the true sovereign reclaimed their land. And the Abyss siblings' control over the Abyss may have to do with their authority and origins, which have yet to be uncovered. Thank you for watching. We discussed how energy was born from nothingness, and the Night Mother, and I can't stop thinking about Payman. Payman is immune to the Abyss, can appear from nothingness and disappear, has a starry contrail, and Amelazine says she's like a balloon with a rainbow string extending beyond the sky. Interestingly, the Night Mother couldn't stand the rays of moonlight that would penetrate the walls of darkness, and Payman has constantly been associated with the moons. I'll let you brew your own ideas on the implications of that. It's also possible that the Night Mother was the Primordial One's twin, or some other celestial entity that was tasked with getting the Genesis Crystal, or something else from Tavid, like the Crowned Heir in the Battle Pass cut Sknees. Perhaps she gave in to the temptation of ruling her own world, which is why she now rolls over the Abyss. Once again, I realize how crazy this theory may be and know that the gacha currencies may be unreliable, but it's an interesting idea nonetheless. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and or subscribing. I hope you all have a great rest of your days, evenings, and nights.